We're live? All right. Welcome to the Dirt Trail Running Podcast. My name is Michelle Hartwig, and I am your Friday night host. We have the weekly news show, and we have lots of co-hosts here tonight, and I'm just going to let each one of them introduce themselves and just say a little bit about where you're at and just, something about yourself you want to share. So let's start with Ryan.
Oh, Ryan, go.
Because he's in the upper left-hand corner for me.
I am right next to you on my screen too. I am Ryan Steiner. I'm an autistic runner and I run Pushing My Daughter Kala. And I'm from Indiana and I'm actually on here from the hospital because my daughter's sick right now. So this is a real nice break.
Yeah, well, we're hoping Kala is home soon and feeling better.
Yeah, she's ready for a run. She's been making some weird noises.
And then we'll go down to Crystal the Pistols right after.
Oh, all right. Well, hi, everyone. I'm Crystal. I don't have anything exciting to say, so hi. I'm coming to you live from my apartment. And it's looking real bare behind me. I used to have a bunch of stuff hung up there, but I'm moving, so I'm like packing and...
I thought something was missing. No medals.
Mm-hmm. No medals.
You have a cool bike back there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, my bike. There it is.
And then we'll go to Sid. He's next on the screen for me.
Hey, I'm Sid Wagner. I do all Michelle's races. I help out at all of Michelle's races. And I just love trail running and the community. And I do have some medals from the year that almost didn't happen. That's about it. Just glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks, Sid.
Woo!
And then we'll go to Jeff.
Hi, I'm Jeff Lennard, Midwest trail runner, course director for Frozen Gnome and Earth Day. Fresh off the Secret Trail Poker Run, I got to run with Sid that day and saw Steph there, so that's all I got.
And then, that goes right on to Steph.
All right, I'm Steph. I'm sitting pretty at home around Madison, Wisconsin, and I do coaching for OMR. And yes, I was at the Secret Poker Run.
Yeah, so that's one of our topics for news tonight is the Secret Trail Poker Run. I'll quickly go over everything we're going to talk about. So we're going to talk about UTMB and the Ironman partnership. Hi, Elizabeth. So if anybody's got any questions, and then Coach Ashley's here. Hi, Coach Ashley. If you got any questions, put it in here. So this is what we're talking about. So then we're going to talk about the Secret Trail Poker Run, Ainsley's Angel Race, Alexander County 24-hour race, and the Cocodona 250, which is going on, and Kettle Moraine 100 race preparation, and anything else that you guys ask about. So be ready with questions, but we might as well, since you guys brought up the poker run, we might as well start up with something fun and good. So the Secret Trail Poker Run, that is a trail that I've been going to for probably like 4 years, and I didn't share it with anybody because I was like the only person out there, and it was kind of nice being the only person out there. And then with COVID, it was such a lonely year. And I just felt like sharing it with everybody. So Poker Run's a kind of event that I put on before, and I like doing that. So we created the Secret Trail Poker Run. It was a free event for the community that supported me, supported Ornery Mule Racing, kept us going through COVID. And we all connected online with book club, with virtual races and stuff. And this was our chance to get together. So Michelle Douglas says hi. Hi, Michelle Douglas. And so, so let's talk. So most of us were here. Ryan was at Ainsley's Angel that day. But what did everybody think about the course at the Poker Run?
I loved it. I thought it was fun. Sorry, Jeff. I loved it.
No,
go ahead, Jeff.
No, go ahead.
No, I just thought it was fun. They had all variations of all different kinds of stuff. I mean, I could have done without the wind that day, but other than that, it was a good day.
That wind was pretty vicious, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, my face is actually still healing.
Oh no.
So it was really nice because you had so many awards you gave after the race. Everybody got some cool swag after that. So it was really nice to give Michelle. Had a great time. Said that was fun running with you. And just so you know, I was there to get all the ticks. You know, I figured all the ticks for everybody, so no one's got ticks besides me. So that's why I went.
I have never once gotten a
ticks.
tick out there, and then it just take it for Jeff to pull him out of the woods.
Yeah. One loop, he gets like 3 of them.
I really enjoyed the build up to that race. Like you had all these things, little bits of teasers online about what's coming up. I was really like, gosh, I wish I was going to this one. Like the hidden treasure. I was like, oh, that's what's up.
and Ryan, the best part was all the dudes got chicked. We got smoked by 3 girls.
And the guys were fast.
Right.
And they crushed us.
Nice.
They did. Yeah, so let me see, I should read that. So the most overall mileage was Samantha Stimac, and she's actually coached by Ornery Mule Racing. Coach Loretta coaches her. She did 43.5 miles, 11 loops. Or no, 12 loops out
I got
there.
to run with her a little bit. I looked down at one point during that run. We were doing 745 miles when we were running together. And she was asking for advice for Kettle, which can be her first 100. So I was trying to give her some insight, like what to do. First thing was, you need to slow the way the heck down. She's a beast. I mean, she's like someone to watch at Kettle.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching her at Kettle. And we're going to have live broadcasting at Kettle, so you are going to be able to tune in and watch that. And then second place was, they tied 2 females. And Monica Rice had just come off of coming in second place at Earth Day, second place overall in the 50K at Earth Day. And she did 39.93 miles. And she immediately asked Samantha, she's like, how old are you? She goes, well, I'm like 40 and you're like 27. And then Amelia Cameron also did 39.93 miles.
Where did she come from? Do you remember where she's from?
She's from the Madison area, I believe.
She's a beast.
Or somewhere around here.
And I ran with Monica for a while as well. And you have no idea how fast she is. She's so consistent, so steady. Her pace, and she's just crushed the miles, but she's not like, doesn't seem she's killing them, but she's just consistent. She never slowed down that day.
So Amelia Cameron, so Coach Ashley's asking, she missed the name. So Camelia Cameron, who's from Madison, and then Monica Rice, who's from the Crystal Lake area. And then Samantha Stimac, I'm not quite sure where she's from, actually. I think she's
about 4 or 5 hours up. She's up in Wisconsin, about 4 or 5 hours.
Oh, okay.
So she's up a little ways. I can't remember where she said she's from, but she's up a little ways.
And then the game for the poker run was actually, so every time, so you started with 3 cards, and it was, 3.63 mile loop?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something like that.
And then every single loop, you got to finish on a really big, gigantic hill, which was super fun. Yeah. When I'm out there running, I always like to try to figure out, how am I going to get back to where I could finish on that hill? I hate it and love it at the same time. And so you finish there, you got another card, and then you could just make the best hand out of all those cards. And the person that won was Amelia Cameron, and she won with 5 queens. And Monica had the best hand that was just without any wild cards. And actually, I forgot what her hand was. I forgot to write that down. Did you guys see the video that Chris Puwaka did? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
awesome. Really nice.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Makes good videos.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to know what equipment he uses that it doesn't bounce. It doesn't bounce.
Well, he was running the race. He ran it too. And
so all the visuals is from him running, but you just don't see the bounce,
Did he have a GoPro? Was he holding something?
Well, I saw him quite a few times on course, and I didn't really notice him carrying anything. So he must have had something attached to him. I don't know. He was just smiling, and he's a quick runner too. He was crushing it.
Yeah, I didn't see him at all, and that's why I'm not in the video anywhere.
Oh. Well, are you in the Earth Day one?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think that you are, or maybe I got you at the Earth Day one.
Well, yeah, it's a tent.
Yeah, dancing at the tent and on that new thing that we have on Instagram. What's that called? Reels.
Reels.
Yeah.
We did a reel.
It was our first one. We figured out how to do it at the race because some young person told us that we needed to know how to do that.
It's definitely a social media learning curve.
Yeah. Yeah, they were like, ask your kids. I'm like, both of my kids do not use social media at all. So they weren't the people to ask. So, well, how many miles did everybody do at the poker run?
33, I believe, just under 33.
Yeah, 30, same as Jeff, 33-ish, 32.6.
Yeah.
I think I did like 26.
Good.
Or something like that.
I think it was between 5 and 8, but I didn't really record any of it.
Well, I actually ended up with 15 miles at the end of the day because I did the course before everybody got there. And then all we were doing was walking on course, taking pictures. And we were like, just like we would walk a few steps and then somebody would come. Then we'd walk a few steps, somebody would come. And then we cleaned up afterwards as well. And I couldn't believe it when I looked at my phone that keeps track and I had done 15 miles that day. So.
That's an Earth Day and Froze number for you, Michelle. That's why I get 15, 20 miles every time.
Yeah.
Run.
Yeah, so
But
just
taking the pictures was an absolute blast, though, especially when you're not like under pressure.
Yeah, it was so windy. I mean, it was like 25 to 30 mile per hour winds that when I was taking pictures, I actually like had a hard time holding my phone still to get a clear picture.
Yeah, I had a lot of wind at my race that day too. It was too much wind.
Yeah, let's hear about the Ainsley's Angel race.
Oh, well, Colin and I we like to do the Ainsley's Angels races. The best part for me actually was standing there. It's the most Ainsley's Angel athletes I've ever seen in a group before. And it was just a small town race that had an Ainsley's Angels group that's near there.
Not to interrupt, but just in case somebody doesn't know what Ainsley's Angels is, can you tell us what that is?
Well, it's a group. It's big, like all across America. It's Ainsley'sAngels.org, and they help people who wouldn't be able to run a race get to experience a race. And so runners sign up to be angels, and then they assign you a rider, and you push a chair. They call them chariots. And do races anywhere from a 5K race all the way to 100-mile races. And it's pretty cool. There's one other parent that pushes their kid in the local group of Ainsley's Angels by me. And so we got to watch people be assigned to their angel of the day. So there were a couple that were like, they had run with them before, but we also got to see people meet someone. And so it's one thing when you're pushing your own kid, but it's really moving to watch runners just want to be able to share that experience with other people. So I'm like teary because it was great to watch people just be like, I'm going to push you today. And they talk to people like they're people. And sometimes you don't see that when someone's in a wheelchair, they don't get treated like people. So I just love it. Every time someone says that they're an angel runner, I'm like, yes. So, but it was a great race. And Kala, she just lights up when she sees other riders. Like we do a lot of races where there aren't other riders, but when we do an Ainsley's Angels race, you can tell that she notices the difference. And there's just a spirit at the beginning of the race. And they do a soft start with all the rolling runners. So we get to be at the front and it's fun. But the wind was grabbing her chariot so hard that I was running into the wind for the first half of it. And I just couldn't, like my legs were burning. But in the end, I I was behind a guy most of the time, and I was like, well, let's just pace myself and see if I can really just overtake him at the end, because I'm slow, but to overtake someone at the end of a race, I've never done that. So I decided I would try, and Carla got so excited when she realized what we were doing because we really sped up. So she was screaming across the finish line. And since it's an Ainsley's Angels race, everyone's cheering for her because I'm just her legs for that race. It's Kala's race.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're crossing the finish line and people are like, yeah, Kala. And she's just rocking and screaming. It's great.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. Is there video of that?
Yeah, I think I posted a not so great video of it because my mother-in-law was videoing us as we're running to the end, but then she also wanted to cheer, and that learning curve with technology. She put her phone down and started clapping.
Oh.
That's sweet.
Yeah, so her grandparents were there too, so that was pretty cool for them to watch her come
That's
across
great.
the finish line.
Well, that's great, Ryan.
But Ainsley's Angels, do it. If you haven't done it, do it. There's nothing like that feeling.
Yeah,
And
I
they
know
help.
Coach Loretta does it a lot.
They help anybody with a disability. Like even if you have like an elderly grandma that you would want to share a race with and you never thought of it before, you can sign them up as a rider. And the whole thing, like if you donate to Ainsley's Angels, all the money goes towards riders being free. So if you're a runner, you have to pay your entry, but all riders roll for free. And we have our own chariot, but they have a bunch of chariots and they'll assign someone to it. So, it's real fun to get people involved in that.
Is like the chariots, is there like a certain kind of, something that's better for running and for them than others? Or can you just go to the store and just buy one? Or how's that
Well,
work?
I mean, they are designed for running, and Ainsley's Angels has their own, like you can actually put money towards the purchase of one, and you can buy one for yourself on their website. And it's like a running wheelchair. So it has these like special grips for the runner, and it has one big wheel in the front. So they're fast and they don't have a lot of drag. And it's pretty cool. But for the smaller people, they have like a running, it's bigger than a stroller, but a little similar to a stroller. So yeah.
Well, that's great. Congrats, Ryan and Kala. Well, I guess we should say congrats, Kala, actually.
Kala, yeah.
Well, like that's some really good news. And so
Yeah.
the next thing's a little bit drama, according to social media right now, is UTMB and Ironman partnership. It doesn't, I would call it mixed feelings, but it doesn't seem very mixed on what I'm seeing people saying about it. Coach Steph is also an Ironman runner, athlete. Why don't you get any insight on that?
I think and like when I saw it, I actually didn't believe it. Actually, but I saw who it was posted by. I was like, oh, so I mean, it was like really shocking news. But I just didn't have the feelings to express at the time. And then I thought about it and I was like, I don't know if this is actually a good thing. I think Ironman struggled in the last year to kind of bring the community together, which a lot of trail running races actually didn't have a lot of issue doing, from what I saw, especially with OMR and our local community here. We like came together and it was great, like even though we were apart, but I just didn't really feel that from Ironman. And I know they've been having like financial issues and things like that. So it kind of makes me wonder if, that's kind of part of what's going on. Because they're owned by I think they're owned by Wanda Corp, and there's a whole bunch of mess going on back there. So I was like, if we're talking about UTMB taking on kind of like the style that Ironman does, like with qualifications, they were talking about like the stones, and you can collect these stones from these races and the stones don't expire, unlike, Western States, which I think they're kind of changing something too, according to the pandemic. But it feels like it's going to be like one of those impossible things to kind of achieve, especially if they're not really, at the moment, they're not seeing any races in America that they want to put here. And it looks like they're just putting very few races in other countries. So then you're going to have this giant demand of people trying to get into these other races. And I feel like that's not great community building necessarily. So I don't think that's kind of the vibe that we feel like here in America for as far as like trail running goes.
Yeah, it can be really sad when there's a race that's not in the group. Like, it's like, oh, you have, like, for Western states, I mean, sometimes it can be hard because all the races that are Western states qualifiers will sell out. And then there's other good races out there that, you know, maybe have to work a little bit harder to sell out. So it is kind of sad when when the United States is kind of left out of that, and people are going to be traveling over there if they want to get into UTMB. If I'm understanding what you're saying correctly.
Well, also that kind of sets the bar of how much you have to spend to participate in the race. Already, if you've done UTMB and gotten the points, you can do kind of like smaller races, like Cloud Splitter that I did, the 100 was worth 6 points. You do that 2 years, you have 12 points, you can get into UTMB. Like you can get into multiple tiers of races. But with kind of like this stone situation, like you're going to have to probably travel a great distance just to get to a race that you can get this stone from. And then you're going to have to try to figure out how to get to UTMB itself. So I feel like there's just like this gateway, like this financial gateway that people would have to get across, which is, it kind of rubs me the wrong way.
To me, it sounds like it takes away one of the things that draws me to the trail and ultra running community, which is that I don't have to be elite to spend time and build relationships with elite runners and feel like I'm a part of that world. But that makes it really more exclusive instead of inclusive. From what I'm hearing, I don't really understand it because I'm not an Ironman, not even close.
Yeah, well, for Ironman, basically to get into Kona, you have to place in an age group in one of their races. So, but Ironman has a lot of races all over the world and a lot in America. Like they have it set up so the system's okay. You still kind of have to travel. Like there's one in Madison, but they've gotten rid of a few races. They've come back with a few. Like I think there's Penticton in Canada. I'm sorry if I like butchered that. But like St. George in Utah, like there's just like these places, and they're just like, well, there's one here and there's one like over here, where like UTMB had like points kind of spread out. Like they had them in Zion, they had them like on the East Coast, West Coast. Like I think there are a few in the Midwest, if I'm not mistaken. So in order to get into Kona, you would have to qualify. That's kind of like the World Championship. So I'm assuming they're equating that to UTMB of trail running. And you would have to qualify or do a certain number of races over a period of time. I think it's like 11, I don't quote me, like 11 Ironman races to kind of like get your way in or raise money for the whole corporation, I guess is what you would call it. So I would kind of fear that UTMB would do the kind of like the same thing.
Yeah, so Crispy Dumpling, that's a really good name here on YouTube. It says an empty marketing power which will direct actual enthusiasts to chase stone races rather than their close-knit communities. Yeah, that's really very great insight. Because, like locally, like, you know, Steph and I have been working on a local race all day today. And Steph has spent a bunch of time on that course. It's a course that, you know, a couple different courses actually that she loves. And like Kettle Moraine 100, like I love that trail so much. And, you know, like it means everything to me for that race to be a great experience and to share that with friends, just like the poker run. You know, like I wanted to share that trail with friends. And that's what the trail running community is. And I think it kind of loses something when it just becomes a bunch of spreadsheets and like, you know, ordering T-shirts and hiring staff to go take care of something. And I don't even know how they do it because my husband works his butt off and he gets paid nothing from me. And, because I can't afford to pay him to do what he's doing. So these guys, races are going to get really expensive if they're hiring people that it's not their passion to do it. And I hope, I feel, I don't know if anybody thinks we're large. We're not. I mean, we're a grassroots company. I'm hoping it doesn't hurt us, have these big people come in and, we've been putting our heart and soul into it for all these years. And I enjoy doing it and I feel really lucky to get to do it.
Yeah, because I had the opportunity to walk around with Michelle during the poker run and got all of the insights as to why she picked this hill, why she picked this direction on the hill. And her face would just light up every time she would talk about anything a part of the course. So, you guys it means so much to the people who put on these races. They're trying to share it with you and trying to kind of keep that, down where we can have it open to everybody, I think just means a lot.
Yeah, because the poker run, I mean, that trail, I could have made that course way easier, just a real simple loop. But I want, but if I did that, excuse me, there were certain areas you wouldn't be able to see. And I wanted you coming down a hill from a certain direction, because if you came down the hill from a certain direction, you could see an overlook. But if you went up that hill, you'd completely miss that view. And so, I spent months deciding what is the best direction to take everybody on that. And I think some big, gigantic group coming in that just goes, okay, we're going to use this trail, they're not going to think about all that stuff. I go there every single day practically to choose it. And, and Kettle, that's a great course. Hennepin, the same thing. We thought about, a million different ways. I mean, there's still ways that I think I could improve that. Because on the Hennepin course, I'm always a little disappointed that some people get to what I consider some of the prettiest part of the trail when it's dark. The faster people get there in the daylight, but some of the people in the back of the pack will get there after dark. So I've actually been wanting to add a marathon or half marathon in that area so that everybody can see the part that I love the best. But yeah, so let's just hope that the runners keeps taking care of the grassroots people, the groups like us that are putting stuff on. Well, that was good. Thanks, Steph, for sharing that. Anybody else have anything to say about UTMB and Ironman? So,
Nope.
Okay, well then next up we have the Alexander County 24-hour race. And so Coach Loretta, our very own Coach Loretta, she came in first overall female at that race. Woohoo!
Yay, Loretta!
And she ran 111 miles and 111.53 miles. I know her goals were a little bit higher, and I think theirs goals was a little higher. I think she probably would have liked to get on to the U.S. Team, the national 24-hour team there. But it was very hot, and a lot of the runners had problems there. Coach Loretta told me that at mile 20, she was dehydrated and just not knowing what she was going to do. And she powered through, got herself together, and she was really, she felt really confident. Her legs were strong. She had made some changes in her coaching herself. And so she
ran an amazing race though. If you go in and you look at her splits, they're so even. Her lap splits are I was like, wow, Loretta, go.
Oh yeah. So Crispy Dumpling, sometimes our stuff comes in a little bit slow. He says on a positive note, it'll definitely grow the sport. So that is true. So I don't want to miss anybody saying anything. I apologize on that. And then also it was really cool for Coach Loretta, Nick Curry, she got to be on a podium with him. That's kind of fun. And he ran 148 miles. And so that was a qualifying race for the 24-hour team. And that's in Romania this fall. And on the team, and I hope, and Coach Loretta, she'll be going for a chance for that for the next year at the Dome, which is coming up in June. But on the team this year, they announced, I think it was today, Camille Haran and her husband Connor was on the show this week, which was a really good show. He was cracking me up on the show. He's really a fun guy.
Colt the Bolt. He was on.
Colt the Bolt.
Colt the Bolt.
And then Courtney Dahlwalter, who's also been on the show. She was on our show right after Biggs. So you'll have to go back and look at these shows. And Marissa Lysick, Micah Morgan, and Whitney Richmond. And she was on our show, too, right after Desert Solstice. And that's actually where she qualified, was that Desert Solstice race. I believe it was. Maybe I'm saying that wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was. I think she wanted to improve on that, she was saying at the show. And then Pam Smith. And then also Oliver LeBlond, Nick Curry, Jake Jackson, Harvey Lewis, Ryan Montgomery, and Jacob Moss. So pretty great people there. And the qualifying was 145 miles for the men in 24 hours. Jeff, are we going to sign you up?
That's a lot for me.
You do 150 miles on a track, though.
Yeah, maybe next year. Is there a senior division?
Yeah.
Do it, Jeff. Do it. Just do it.
I'll just sign up for everything.
Just give it a try and see.
And then the women needed to get 130 miles. That was the minimum that each of those had to get. But I think people got in at much higher than those. You know, that was the minimum, but it was the best 6 for men and women. Sid could probably do that too.
Nope.
Yeah. Yes.
Maybe if Ryan was pushing me.
Yeah. Are you for that, Ryan?
That's not even close. I might do a 50K in 24 hours.
Well, you will be doing the Hennepin 50K.
Hennepin 50K.
Yes. I'm my big goal for Galena is 50K too, but I won't be pushing Kala.
Oh, that'll be fun.
That's my big goal though.
Yeah. That's okay. It's good to have a big goal.
Mm-hmm.
It's 1 week away.
I know.
I know, and I've got a nice rest here in the hospital, so my legs are going to be fresh.
Yeah. Well, I heard Coach Loretta has you doing some exercises while in the hospital. What are you doing?
Yeah. I did 50 mountain legs each leg and some cadence drills because I'm really trying to get my feet faster. When I compensate by slowing my feet way down, and so I'm trying to just make that real natural. And I use the baby chair to do my mountain legs.
And yeah, so who all is going to be at Galena?
Me.
Hey.
And
Yeah.
I'll be in Georgia.
yeah. So where are you? Yeah. So you've got a
Pearl
pretty
Jewel.
exciting race.
Cool Jewel 100 next Friday. I'll be almost 8 hours into it. This time next Friday.
So your first one?
So, my first Cruel Jewel.
Nice.
Have you done that stuff?
No, I
No,
haven't.
not yet. Not yet.
It'll be my 27th race over 100 miles.
Nice.
Wow.
I'm looking forward to this one. 33,000 feet of gain and 106
Mhm.
miles. It should be quite a challenge. And I've got a guy named Ted Kelch, who is a local runner from here who moved down to Georgia. He's going to pace me down there for the last, 30 miles or so. So he's lived out in probably Oak Park area, and now he lives down in Woodstock, Georgia, and he's going to come down and run me at the end of the race. So it's going to be fun. Good to see him again after a while. He used to run Frozen Home Earth Day, so we're going to reunite down there.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
And because of the show last year where we did the interview, the one-on-one, Ted reached out and said he wanted to do it. So the show does reach out to other people.
Oh, that's
Yay.
great.
I'm looking forward to it. Catch up with Ted.
And what's the cutoff for that race?
48 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, that tells you
It-
how
it
hard
must-
it is.
Yep.
It must be pretty hard.
It's
And
it's
Carl
pretty
Meltzer,
technical.
I think there's only one finisher under 24 hours ever. And Carl Meltzer was like 25 and some change. Our friend Jake Milligan, he used to be a local runner by us. I think he did it in 26 hours. He took second place to Carl Meltzer that year, but it must be difficult when your good runners are just touching 24, 25 hours.
Wow.
I'm hoping for 30, 35 hours or so, but I have no
Yeah,
idea.
that's good.
It's a lot of gain.
Yeah.
Be the most gain I've done in a race.
So what is that compared to like Superior? What do most people finish Superior at?
Most people are getting pretty close to 34 hours. I mean, if you do better than 30 hours Superior, you've done really well. But this is harder. Superior is about 24,000 feet of gain, I want to say. This is 33, so it's going to be significantly harder. You know, it's a lot more climbing. And my buddy Ted was down there. He said that he asked me, do I use trekking poles? Which I do use trekking poles. He said, you're going to need them because the hills are brutal. So he does train that course. So it's going to be something down there. You know, there's a couple spots where you go up almost 2,300 feet in like the span of a mile.
Mhm.
So that's a lot of climbing. That's got to be straight up. You know,
It's
so
fun.
some really, really long ups and some really long downs.
So you need
It's
some
gonna be
mountain
fun.
legs too.
Was that?
You need to be doing some mountain legs too then, huh?
I just did pot 150. I did that secret trail poker run. So hopefully I'm trained, but I highly doubt it.
That's some pretty good
Cool.
training.
Mm-hmm.
You'll
Yeah.
be fine. Just
Yeah,
watch out for
Potawatomi,
ticks.
Potawatomi, I got 24,000 feet of gain over the race, so it's almost there.
And then Coach Steph just got into a fun race. She was on a waiting list, I saw. So what are you doing next?
I roped myself into Black Hills 100.
And
Oh,
when is that?
man.
It's the last weekend in June, so I'm hoping it's hot.
It's going to be hot. When I did it, it was 96 degrees one day and 97 the other day.
Yes.
It was miserable.
I can't wait.
It's a pretty course. It's not marked very well. Watch the course markings. They mark it from one direction back. So it's marked from the turnaround back to the start. So really, really be aware of your course markings because sometimes they're hidden by objects, opposite directions. So just be aware of your surroundings. But otherwise, it's a pretty nice course.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
done
it
the
looked like-
100K. And I'm with Jeff. Like, there wasn't a lot of course. It was hard to find the course markings sometimes. But I found out, I mean, I probably just didn't read the website well enough. Like, it is actually basically on one trail, I believe. And if I would have,
Independence Trail.
know which trail you're supposed to be on, and that'll help you a lot.
I think it's Independence Trail.
I think it's Centennial. I think
Oh,
that's
Centennial.
actually
That's
it.
what it is. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just one trail. But I have never ever been to that part of the world in my entire life in any form or fashion, not even into an airport. So
Well, it's really weird. If you go to Sturgis, there'll be no motorcycles there because it's not the motorcycle rally. So I saw a Camaro show in Sturgis when I was there.
And that's mountain lion country. So
Oh, goodness.
watch for the glowing eyes and the trees.
Yes.
Well, good luck to you, and
Thank you.
congrats on getting in.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
And then Jeff, is there like live tracking for you next week that we could share on our social media?
I don't know. I don't look at that stuff. If my wife gets back to him, I'll ask her. I just run the races. I don't really care about that kind of stuff.
Do you want us to track you, Jeff?
Do I ever post about my running? Ever. You can track me. I don't care.
Okay, well,
I
look
love
for
it when there's.
My birds are going crazy.
I love it when there's
we
a
want to see the
video.
birds.
Oh my god, I can hear them.
Yeah, they're excited that
funny.
he's going too.
They're like
I had to close
dogs.
some doors. Yeah, my parrots get really loud.
Sid, I thought you were gonna bring some like that cinnamon goo for the show
Yeah,
tonight.
where's that cinnamon goo at, Sid?
Ooh.
Well,
Hey, Stu, Sid, that was a really bad idea. I felt terrible after that Doing that.
I'm not gonna drink it here alone. So until we
I
can
think-
figure
I think
out how
There's
that
a
works.
really large cup of cinnamon goo.
Yeah, not as much as Arturo though.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
Arturo.
But at least he waited till he was done.
That's right. It was a victory shot. It was like 4, I don't know how many. It was like a proper cup, 2 full.
Yeah, all I know is I need to buy another bottle because of that.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, Arturo. Okay. I think he's going to be at Galena, so you should have him bring you a bottle.
Yeah, stock back up for Galena.
Cinnamon goo.
Yeah, Crystal and I, when we were doing the show live, we had a cinnamon goo bottle on our table, and my husband's like, "If you guys aren't going to drink it, you need to get that off the table because it's really dorky that it's just sitting there full." So has everybody have you been watching the Cocodona 250 live?
A little bit, yeah.
It's super cool that Aravaipa has, started doing that this year. I think it's, well, for one thing, it helps keep, it's, as far as COVID precautions go, it actually helps keep numbers down at the aid stations because people can watch it from home. So it is actually a safety feature, but then it's really fun for us that we get to see what's going on out there in the desert over in where the heck is it? It's in Arizona. And does it go to any other state? I'm not quite sure of the route.
Very long.
Yeah.
It is very long.
It looks beautiful.
It does.
Yeah, there
You
was
had you had some OMR buddies there too, I saw.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they were. We saw Peter Mortimer, so he came in second male, and Nick Panich, who he does a lot for Ornery Mule Racing. He paced them for over 50 miles, and so
Nice.
Ornery Mule Racing shirts showed up on the big 250-mile red carpet there. And then Dax Hawk, he was second, or what was he? Was he third overall? Yeah, he was third overall. And remember, we had Dax on the podcast. He was on the Utah Brawl podcast.
Utah Brawl, yep. I remember.
And he's a dancer, too.
Oh.
I feel like there was another sighting of Ornery Mule. Someone was wearing a hat. Was it Rory that was wearing a hat? Yeah.
Yeah, Rory was running with Maggie, who won the race with the Ornery Mule Wings hat on. So we were just seeping in. And then, on top of that, there was David Failing. He brought in the second place female with the red, like what Sid has on, the red Ornery Mule Racing.
Oh,
hoodie.
yeah, the sweatshirt. Yeah.
So, yeah, it was good. And then I was going to check right before we went live. Has anybody seen if Pam Reed has came in yet?
I have not.
Because she was at like 250 miles, and I think it's like 253 or something.
Oh, wow.
And she was there for a really long time. I'm going to see. She was going to come in as fourth place female, and she's 60 years old.
Damn. You go, Pam.
I got to see if I can pull that up on. I had it
tried.
saved.
But I have it saved on a different computer, but I also can't spell it, so.
Yeah, I had the link saved.
You want me
but
to
of course
spell it
now
for
I
you?
can't get to it. See if I can pull it up real quick. I had it saved so I could pull it up super fast during the show, but then I lost it because I was thinking about doing a TikTok, which we decided not to do.
You could just post a link to that TikTok on Facebook, and then people can just go watch it.
Yeah, well, we did post one link.
Yeah, that's how I saw it.
Let's see. I'm on here, but I don't see Pam yet. Let's see here.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah, so everybody that's watching, we want to normally start doing some TikToks on here, like the best TikToks of the week. So we need ideas of who to follow for good stuff. Jesse Itzler, he had a really good one where he talks about the Hennepin 100, which apparently he talks about a lot on his show. Royal just got done putting a link to it, so if you're watching, you can see the link in the comments. And but he talked about the Hennepin 100. Oh yeah.
You guys know who Jesse Itzler is?
I do.
You know who he is? You know what he owns?
Yeah, somebody else.
Pam Reed.
He owns. Good.
I was just gonna say Pam Reed crossed the finish line 7 minutes ago.
Yay!
Okay. Nice job, Pam.
And she was just on the show last week, so she talks about training for this, so that's good.
So Jesse Itzler, when he ran Hennepin, he owns Marquis Jets. He owns the Atlanta Hawks. So he's a pretty big deal. Pretty cool guy too. I'm pretty certain that Dave Goggins lived with him for some time and did a lot of his training while I lived with Jesse Itzler and got to be the guy he is. So,
yeah, and he was on MTV, and he started Lear Jets Company.
Marquis Jets.
Oh, Marquis Jets. Okay.
Yeah, it's his own company. So he's a big shot. It's kind of cool he ran the race.
Mhm.
Yeah, he came to Packet Pickup, and Crystal took his money. They weren't actually signed up, and Crystal came over to me and she's like, somebody wants to sign up now, and I'm like, we're full. And I'm like, okay, go ahead. Like, I'm like, if somebody traveled here, let's just let them in. Somebody's not going to show up, so we'll be okay. And so Crystal let him in, and then one of his people came over to me and says, hey, somebody over here wants to meet you. So I'm like, okay. So I walk over, and I'm like thinking about like Packet Pickup, like all the lines and making sure everything's going well. Like all I'm concentrated on is watching and make sure all directions are going well. And so they brought me over, and I saw him. He like had this really like vibrant smile, and he was a character. Like you could tell he like oozed some kind of energy. His hair was all curly and crazy. And so like I talked to him for a couple minutes, and then I'm like, I'm going to need to excuse myself because I got some stuff to do over here. So I pretty much excused myself from the conversation right away because I didn't know who I was talking to. And I was busy. But I didn't know who he was the entire race. Like I kept seeing them, and they looked like they were having super fun. Like I saw them all over the course, and I saw him at the finish line, and I know at the finish line I said, oh, it was so nice having you here. And I know I said that to him because it was nice having him there, but I had no idea that it was Jesse Itzler, and I wasn't telling him it was nice having him there because of that. So it was really cool. And then I saw on the Instagram page where they're on their private jet going home, and they're like all on these fancy seats, and so yeah.
I want to know where they flew into. Like, where can you fly in a private jet that's close to the finish? Like Quad Cities, maybe?
Yeah, it's super close to the finish line, actually. It's probably, I mean, it might only be like, 15 miles or something. It's really, really super close. And you could actually fly a commercial plane. There is commercial flights in there. It's a little more expensive than flying into Chicago. I know a lot of people will fly into Chicago and drive because it's a straight shot down 90 to get there. And Chicago is so much cheaper. Jeff's birds are cracking me up. They sound like they're in a fight.
That's every night they excited.
So that was good. So did we talk about everything for the Cocodona? We kind of got off track on Jesse Itzler.
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah, it was really super cool. And I'm watching it, trying to learn because we got Kettle coming up. So we got Galena coming up. We got Ornery Mule Mountain Challenge, which is the day before, which we're just gonna run you down a mountain, ski hill, and then you're gonna come your way back up the ski hill. So that should be super fun. And we got a really cool flag for finishing that, an Ornery Mule Mountain Challenge flag with that new logo that Leslie Mitchell designed us. But for Kettle right now, we're preparing for, oh, look at Jeff's lights all came on. You can see the water behind him now.
I know. I was just looking
really?
at the glistening water behind you, Jeff.
Yeah. We
That's my backyard.
want to
it's
show
beautiful.
out of the boat.
It's big enough. We can all get on there.
But yeah, so Jeff's been helping me. We're planning for live feed at Kettle. And so we will.
That's not a secret.
No. I mean, we have somebody really good. So we got Fusion Films. We hired to do the film for us, and he's actually a teacher at college that teaches filming, and he filmed our podcast for a long time when Crystal and I did it in person with the guest. He filmed and he did a great job. But it will definitely be new for him to film live on location. And so we'll have drones up in the air, and then we'll have one section where we'll have different hosts that are talking about what's going on course. And so you can stay at home, and you don't have to come and crowd our aid stations, because that's going to help keep our numbers down too, because we can only have 100 people at once. So that includes volunteers and runners. So it's going to be much easier just to watch it on YouTube. Which actually reminds me to subscribe. So if you're watching right now, make sure that you've subscribed. So, yeah, and hit the like button. My son's telling me to hit the like button. So subscribe and hit the like button. Oh, yeah, the like button.
Hey, I was just thinking a good spot for doing interviews would be Confusion Corner. That's always a fun place for people to get lost.
Yeah. I mean, we could have the drone. I was thinking, so a drone actually is going to be over there. So the drones are going to be set up by Trail Sisters Aid Station, because then you can see people coming across the prairie, and by Highway 12, and by Bluff Aid Station, which is where Confusion Corner is. So I'm like, this sounds really mean as a race director to say, but I'm thinking that somebody's like going the wrong way, and the drone's like, we can be watching them go, hey, look, they're going the wrong way.
Send them a text message.
My wife got caught in Confusion Corner. She did Kettle one year. It wasn't fun for her.
So, like, if you have a drone, like, following over your head, you might go, you know what? Am I going the right way? Because why is this drone following me? Because the drone won't be able to talk to you. But
I know you might start thinking, if they're not watching this, then they're like, oh, the drone's behind me. I must be in a good position.
Right.
I must be winning. I haven't
I'm
seen
doing
anything.
good. And then run faster in the wrong direction.
So what's everybody doing at Kettle that's here?
What are
I
we
will
Either
doing?
pacing or we're helping you.
I'll be working the Ornery Mule Trail Team aid station in the middle of the night.
So that's Highway 12. Elizabeth is here. So Elizabeth is aid station captain for that. They're going to be playing some tunes at that aid station, and that's where one of the drones will be. So that's where one of our updates will be.
I'm running it. Running the 100K.
Yay!
Yay!
And you've been waiting
It's
for
a
like
great
2
race.
years.
I have been. It's been a couple years. Yeah. I was signed up in 2019, but I got injured, so I deferred to 2020, and then COVID happened, so I deferred again. So this is the year.
Yeah. And you got a nice
a great
27-mile
race.
training run in, so.
That'll probably be the only thing I do. No, I'm going to run some at Galena. I'm going to be volunteering and running loops with people. So Ryan, if you need someone to run with you, just like holler at me and I'll come run some loops with you.
Cool.
Yeah, Galena's a
Awesome.
blast.
I'm very excited. And
then,
I'm pondering the mountain run the day before just because riding up, running down sounds fun.
yeah, I kind of think I want to change the mountain run for next year. I have an idea in my head for the mountain run is to make it like an elimination mountain run. Yeah, and actually from Ashley Runnalls, when we had her on, like that gave me the idea where you go down the hill, then you race up the hill or the mountain, and then like the top 10 people go on, and then you race again, and then maybe the top 5 people go on, and then keep doing it until nobody's left. I think that would be really super fun.
So painful.
Stuff like so painful.
The night before a race.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, and actually, like, I don't know how many times I've tried to get people to do it on Sunday, the day after the race. And like one time people agreed, and I was the only one that showed up to do it, but it was also pouring rain the next day. But we're gonna have a dry year, it looks like. Well, according to the weather report right now, unless it changes, it's gonna be a little cool. And then Sid's gonna have a busy week at Kettle. He's got
I'll be marking the course and then helping set up, and I'll be at Nordic, at the aid station at Nordic all weekend. Just keeping the aid station going, and hopefully I'm not plugging in the timing clock every 5 minutes like 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then all the way to tearing everything down, I'll be there for the whole thing.
Yeah, I rented a house, and Steph's gonna come help mark the course too. And so I rented a house that's on a lake that we're only like 12 miles away or 12 minutes away from Nordic. And it looks like it's really nice. I mean, I haven't been there, but it looks really cool. So it's going to be kind of fun. Crystal, can you get off and come hang out?
It depends on what day it is.
So
every day.
Yeah, so
every day.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I mean, not that you need to be doing a bunch of miles. You could just come and like drive and pick them up. So if they mark the course, like they can start one place and then pick them up someplace else, so they don't have to do an out and back.
Is it the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday before the race? I'm not working. I'm off, baby. Woo!
Well, then you come hang out. We'll get a party house at the lake.
I will totally be there.
Hey, Sid, what days you mark the course?
Probably Wednesday and Thursday.
All right. I'll see if I can get out of work. So is that 55 miles a course to mark?
Right.
55 miles, right? Yeah. It's a lot of miles to mark.
Let's go.
Yeah, but it's not 100. So.
No, there's 28 miles in that Nordic loop. Yay.
We could always finish it on Friday, so 3 days of marking.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Friday we're doing packet pickup because there isn't race day packet pickup with COVID precautions. So Friday might be a little bit busy. Well, although we only have 400 runners this year, so it's definitely smaller. That for me, that doesn't sound like a lot. It's just gonna. I mean, it's half as many as we had before, so it's gonna feel a lot smaller, I think.
And it's a wave start again, right?
It is. I mean, I'm working. I had already submitted everything a couple times now, but I right now I'm working through finalizing it with them, but it just changed. So I had all my plans finalized for 50 runners or 50 people at one time, and they messaged me to let me know that we could now do 100 at one time, but they were also very clear that includes spectators and volunteers. So I rewrote it. I rewrote it as 75 people per wave, not because we have to make room for volunteers, even though no crew's allowed at the start line, but I just want to be on the safe side, like no chance of us accidentally hitting 100 people, because we did a great job at Earth Day. We never hit.
Let's do 15-minute waves though, not 30 minutes.
Well, the problem with the 30-minute waves or the 15-minute waves is we would have ended up with more than 50 people because Illinois is a lot tougher than Wisconsin, and if we would have done 15-minute waves at Earth Day, we would have ended up over 50 people because of packet pickup. So we had to do 30 minutes for Earth Day. I am asking for 15 minutes for Kettle, but I don't know if they're going to tell me I have to do 30 minutes. So we'll find out. I mean, I'm willing to adjust whatever to make sure a race happens, but I did originally I requested 30 when it was only 50 people, but then I put it down to 75 and requested 15. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure I should know next week because we've been working through, hopefully I'll know next week. We've been working through all that. So let's see, what else do we got?
Your local shout outs.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so Anna Bluma. Steph probably knows Anna Bluma, right?
I do, but I don't know how to pronounce the name. Sorry.
Yeah, so I might not be saying it right. But she did a self-supported 50-mile last weekend.
I saw that.
Yeah.
She did awesome.
Loads of community support out there for her. It was really great to see.
And then I also wanted to do, so this wasn't last week, but OMR athlete, Tara Flesch. So she has been just absolutely crushing it lately. So she's working with Coach Loretta. I mean, I remember Tara from her first ultra was Hennepin. She did the 50-miler, and it was just really clear that she was very talented because I had a lot of training runs on course, and I could just see that she had a lot of talent. And so she did a 24-hour event, and it sounds like it was a really hilly course. It wasn't like an easy 24-hour loop. Not that there's anything easy in a 24-hour race, but she hit a 50-mile PR by 1 hour, and her PR was Hennepin. So on a hilly course, she had a 1 hour PR. Her 100-mile PR was 5 hours faster than she had ever done, and her last PR was last October. So it wasn't that long ago. And she ended up first overall female. So it was her second win in a row. And she got the course record for the race. So really, really good stuff.
That's awesome.
So anything else? Did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
Ogala.
Oh, yeah, we wanted to, yeah, so.
Oh, yeah, the lights.
Because all this nighttime stuff is going on, so,
I have to get my assistant. Let me go get her, hold on.
Okay. Yeah, so everybody's, like, it's 100-mile season right now, and, like, and the best light I've ever seen, and I actually heard about it, or saw him for the first time, was doing the Grandmasters Ultra out in Arizona. And it looks like a train coming down the trail, just lights it. I mean, it just like makes it daylight when it's around. And Ryan's been using it too.
Yeah, it's so versatile. It has that magnet, and it's so strong that it actually will clip right to the front of Kala's chariot. And it's like driving a car down the trail.
Yeah.
So that's Jean.
Hi, Jean.
Hey.
So Jean is Jeff's wife, right over there, and
I'm the crew.
She's
all
the
right.
best crew in the world, the best wife in the world. Almost 35 years.
Yeah, high school
So
sweethearts there.
We're demonstrating.
All right, so back several months ago, Michelle had Ben Light on the show, demonstrating the Kogala light. I decided to buy one. I've always used the typical, black diamonds. They're great. You want to buy a cheaper light, they're great lights. I decided to buy the Kogala light. So I raced with Kogala at Potawatomi. We're going to demonstrate how we're going to use this Kogala light. So it's incredible. Like the best I've ever used. I'm going to show you how we did it, because it's just some different ways to set it up. So we're going to do a little demonstration how to use it. So we decided to go with the light with a little Velcro area, which holds it on there. Okay.
And carabiners.
So
Just one carabiner.
All of your patches have like little bungee straps on there. Can you see what she's doing, the carabiner on there?
One on there and one on.
Yep. Yeah, so yeah, blind us all.
That was awesome.
And he says he doesn't really even notice the weight. Like that's the big battery, the biggest pack that you can get, and that will last him
all night.
As long as he kicks the light down just a little bit. It's super bright. If he takes it down just a little bit, like one notch, it'll last all night.
The last race, I used my actual battery pack. So there's backpack 1, backpack 2, and backpack 3. Backpack 3 it's the biggest one. It's 13 ounces, so it's a little bit heavier, but it'll get through a whole night. It's a real slow discharge, but it takes a long time to charge it as well. So if you're gonna do like 100 milers, 200 milers, whatever, if you're gonna go over 100, buy 2
batteries.
So I used Michelle's last race, so I had 2 batteries. I bought a second one. It's the greatest thing in the world.
There's just no guarantee that the battery will charge fast enough. So like if you plugged it into your car, it may not, charge it fast enough. They said it can take up to 34 hours to charge that big battery. So we just didn't take the chance. We bought 2 batteries so that he was ready to go for the second night.
So everybody, it's a great investment. I did not get this for free. I paid for this myself, so I'm not doing this because it was free. I paid 100% of this, including the shirt and the hat I have too. But invest in it. If you use Ornery Racing, you get 20% off. It's a great deal. Please buy it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty cool. I wish I had one.
Well,
Mother's Day is coming up, Jeff.
my mom's in Florida. This is my wife.
He's like, he doesn't have to buy me anything.
My mom doesn't run, so she doesn't need one. So. Wait, what do we have here? Oh wait, Pentagon bottles too.
Yeah, those are the best water bottles. Like that the tip comes up so nice to drink out of it.
So if you get into an aid station, you're watching your pack off, you unhook the one carabiner, it's ready to go off. So buy it. They make magnets for it too. You can put a magnet on your shirt.
So much better than wearing that light on your forehead all night.
You get no headache from it. So there's my commercial for Kogala. Everybody buy it through Ornery Racing. Helps out Ornery Racing. So everybody please, reach out to them. They're great. It's the best product I've used. So it'll make these things, you'll never want to use it again. It's a good backup, but this is where it's all at.
Yeah, it's a game changer for sure, without a doubt.
Well, in the definition that it gives the trail, so anything you might have tripped over with the headlamp, you're not tripping over with that.
There's only one weird thing that happens in light, and I told Michelle this yesterday. So when you're running races, you always look down at your watch, right? Well, you're in a headlight, you light your watch up, and when you have this Kogala light down at your waist, you look down, it's like, darn, I can't see my watch, There's no headlight on yet. But it's one of the best things I have now. I couldn't see going to a race without it. So Cruel Jewel next weekend, I'm going to go through at least 2 nights. So it's going to be a great asset to run with. So that's all I got. My commercial.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeff.
Well done, Jeff.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, we really like the guys at Kogala, and it does help out the show. It helps support us being able to have the live coverage at Kettle, and everybody else only gets 15% off, but hopefully Kogala's not watching right now, because it always gives our people 20% off until they find out it's giving everybody 20% off.
I just ordered a second battery, and I got 20% off. And they had it to my house. I think it was 3 or 4 days I had it. So their company's even great in the shipping too.
Yeah, and they were out at Cocodona 250. They ran an aid station. So their company set up an aid station. So they support the community. And when they get bigger, they said that they would like to come out and run aid stations at our race. But right now they're out of Utah and they don't really have the budget, or, they're a small grassroots company too. And, but they're, we like people that really care about the community and care about trail runners and do stuff to support the community. So, well, that's good, Jeff. Thank you so much on that.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
And also, it'll help support us if you go to ornerymuleracing.com and buy any of, somebody just said something about Ben Light started Cocodona 250. Yeah, I saw that. He stopped early at Cocodona 250. I think he might have went to the hospital. I know he had some issues going on. He posted about it on his Instagram. And, but yeah, we'll have to find out what's going on. But yes, head over to ornerymuleracing.com. We could it helps us be able to do stuff to make the races better. We got some really cool, we got packs on there. We have Injinji socks, which happen to be my favorite kind of socks. We got a lot of cool, we got the Ornery Mule Racing favorite hoodie that is world famous everywhere. Crystal's got a shirt on. We got all these Galena Sky hats. Yeah, everybody, we're decked out. Yeah, that's the famous hat.
I was decked out last night when I stopped by.
Yeah, but you're representing Kogalla too. We like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ben dropped at mile 50 for some reason. I forgot why. I saw it, but he went and started volunteering right away, and he was posting from course. Which that's so nice. It's such a great community. Yeah, follow Ben on Instagram too, man. He eats a bunch of big cheeseburgers and he posts a lot of funny stuff on there. So yeah, Ben Light, perfect for Kogalla.
Yes.
So that's it. I don't know if we'll have a show next Friday night. Next Friday night we will be at Galena Sky. But maybe we will. I'm kind of thinking that maybe
I won't be there.
Yeah, we'll talk about Jeff because he's not going to be there. But all the rest of us are going to be there.
You could do a live show with all of us there.
Yeah.
There you go.
In the same place.
Yeah.
Have fun.
I think that maybe we should do a live show, but it might have to be at 8:00 because we've got the OMR Mountain Challenge. So if you hit the subscribe, you'll know if we go live. If we're able to go live, we can talk about what's going on at the Ornery Mule Mountain Challenge. We'll give it a try. We'll see what happens. And
call me. Start the show.
Yeah, can we do that? Well, are you gonna
call
have?
Me. I'll hold my phone on.
Okay.
If
yeah.
I have reception.
Okay.
Ooh,
and if we don't,
reception.
if we don't get a hold of you, we'll call Gene.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a date. That's good. So, well, thank you guys for listening. A lot of comments in there. We appreciate that. And anybody have anything else they want to share?
Nope.
So, okay.
I'm good. See you at Galena.
Yep.
See you at Galena.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Good night.
Good night.